Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's session. I see Derek in the room. Hey, Derek, Jay, Robert, good to see you again. We have a more practical focus session today. I try to keep it as action-packed for everyone as possible. Sometimes we get a little higher, big picture, but today we're going to get really focused in on a specific area of the branding bundles inside of Agent CRM. We're going to be talking about cross-selling and how to dial in your automatic cross-selling campaigns. I would love to know, I'm going to try to tailor this to your needs for those who are with us live. But before I get started, I'd love to hear in the chat. I'm going to ask, what is your primary product? I always love to know that, but also tell me, what is your primary product and what is the first cross-sell that you might try to make to that client? For example, if you just sold final expense, maybe you would sell a disability policy as the next logical sale. So let me know, what is the cross-sell that you try to make after the first sell? First cross-sell for Derek is indemnity after Medicare, which would be his primary. That's awesome. What else? I'd love to know one or two more if possible. General life, then annuities. Great. So I'd also love to know, are you using the branding bundle cross-sells yet? Yes or no? You can say yes or no, and that will help me to dial this in. So this is going to be more of a tutorial-based session. If you guys have already seen let's go to the YouTube just to review. These are all up on replay. Let's go to the channel here. And if any of you have watched the holiday campaign, that's another very timely one. Where is it? There. Creating holiday campaigns. So this one here, creating holiday campaigns, similar theme where we're going to focus on one automation and one email sequence and really get that specific to cross-selling so that you guys can set it and forget it. That's the goal with a lot of the system here. Set it and forget it. Once it's dialed in, it's running smoothly in the background of your business, helping to convert, helping to, as Alex likes to say, optimize the value of your pipeline. Because you've probably got a lot of contacts that actually would be willing to sign up for annuities or indemnity plans. So we want to make sure that the bundles are relevant to your business. Because what we've done here, just a big picture recap, Agent CRM, we've got the tech, but we also have the assets, pre-made marketing content. We actually just rolled out P&C. So if you guys do P&C, that is available for you now. IUL, annuities, life. You're going to choose the bundle that you import. Probably in the future, this will actually be pre-imported based on your sign up for new users. But you click on the bundle, you click import now. And let's actually do the P&C one so that I have it for next time here. So you're going to click import. It's going to kind of refresh the page, and that's going to bring all the content into your account. So let's do Medicare because I do have a Medicare example here for Derek. But everything that you need to manage your business from one, lead generation, that's the lead coming into your system, all the way to appointments scheduled, sale made. We're talking today about cross-sell. That's the 5.0. Whatever product you guys are focusing on, the branding bundle is going to have a similar architecture to it, the same structure, coloring, and numbering sequence. So you can jump around from one bundle to the next. Definitely throw questions in the chat box along the way, and I'll try to get you as much clarity as possible. But what we're hoping to do is make, in this video, a clear training on how to make use of this one feature. And my goal for you guys who are watching live or replay is that every single step of the way would be optimized for your business so that you're covering the full cycle of a lead to lifelong client would be the goal. There are so many opportunities that agents are missing out on because your clients just don't even know that you can sell additional products. So we want to make sure that we're covering that well. What we're going to do to start with is we're going to go into automation. And we're going to find the branding bundle of our choice. 5.0 cross-sell, again, is what we're focusing on. And what we've done is we've taken some polls. We have asked our Facebook group, we've asked our audience, what is the next logical cross-sell? But we don't know on an individual basis. Derek says indemnity plans was his first cross-sell. We assumed your first cross-sell might be an IUL, and then the second would be life. And maybe some agents who do Medicare, that is your logical process. But what we're trying to do is tailor these in this session. We're going to make a tweak to this specific one so that it's good for Derek's workflow. But just as a recap, how do people even get these cross-sells? You can send them automatically. We want to show you how to send them automatically and manually. But as a refresher, if you do an appointment with someone, let's say I've got a little card here. So this is me. I just had an appointment with you. If I sold you a policy live on that appointment, so we closed, it's a deal, I'm going to drag you to sale made. Now, if you have not locked it in, if it's like a maybe, drag them to appointment complete. But if you've actually closed the deal with them, they've moved through the new lead to nurture to appointment set. Maybe they no-showed and then they set the appointment again. But now I just sold, or you just sold me a policy. I'm going to drag to sale made. And that act alone will trigger the cross-sell campaign to go. So that's going to be running behind the scenes. I'll show you one more way that you can do this. Some of you who are using Agent CRM, you've got the branding bundle, but your leads are not in the pipeline and you want to use the assets, but you're not quite fully set up yet. Another way you could do that is we're going to go to contacts. And imagine you have a client list, like say top here, smart list, you've got a client list. What you could do is after you set up your campaign, you could actually just click this box, select all of your clients, and you want to add a tag. Let's just say send cross-sell to, I have the IUL one in here. So send cross-sell to IUL tags. We're just going to search Medicare. And then we're going to find 5.0 Medicare cross-sell to IUL. Me adding this tag is another way that I can bulk blast this one campaign. Most of the assets, you can either do it by the drag method or the tag. Drag them or tag them. That's going to be how we launch a campaign in the system. So let me know if you have any questions about that, but that's how you initiate the campaign. And let's just go into automation to show you there. There's the PNC bundle I just imported. Back to Medicare, back to 5.0 cross-sell. Actually, let's go here, sale. So remember when I dragged and sale made, this is where it starts off. 4.0 sale made. I dragged them to sale. They get an email. Hey, thanks so much. Awesome working with you. And then we add them to the cross-sell campaign. So this is where they automatically come in when you drag them. We're trying to set this up so you don't have to remember to send a cross-sell campaign. We want you to just drag and boom, it happens. Try to keep it as simple as possible here. So they are draft by default. We don't know. And of course, we're wrong for Derek. He doesn't do IULs as his first cross-sell. So what we're going to do is we're going to modify in this account here. Let's go back. We're going to go to the 5.0 Medicare cross-sell campaign. So we don't want IULs. We're not doing IULs. Or maybe you're a PNC and you're like, I don't do that next cross-sell. I need this. So we're going to modify these workflows together. Now, you see here, there's the tag. That was the other example. That would set off the chain of events. the default structure that we provide is a 45-day delay for this campaign launching. What we're wanting to make sure is that if we sell a policy, we're not like, want to give me some more money? It's like, okay, chill out. Like, we got to win, but let's just breathe and then tap them on the shoulder again. The first thing that you guys might want to do is actually change this. If you guys think, no, actually, I'm really good after 10 days. I know from my experience, 20 days, 100, probably too far, 20 days. So I changed the wait step, and maybe I'm going to change it from 45 in the name to 20. Maybe that's your dream situation, is right after 20 days, boom, there's another message. Oh, hey, by the way, just reaching back out. Now, I do want to come back here for a second. Sorry to take a brief detour. We've made a few minor changes to the bundles, and it might look a little bit different. I want to make sure I'm not confusing anyone here. Might have the old one. Some of you, there might be a what's called an if-else. It kind of bypasses. If you add the tag, this is one thing that you need to know. If you add the tag, let's go back. I like to illustrate while I'm talking, so apologize for the delay. If you add the tag, it's going to come into the sequence and then get stuck on the wait step. There is the ability, and some of the new ones, I'm trying to keep this like as simple and not geeky as possible. If you guys can permit me a geeky moment, if it's over your head, just ignore this. But some of you actually, this is exactly what you want to hear. If you add an if-else statement, you can have a branch from the workflow trigger. Trigger is tag. And let's just name that. Tag action. So if else, you can create all sorts of conditions. If this happens, then this. Again, I'm getting a little geeky here. Boom, so we're going to add that. Let's actually move this action, and we're going to move it over here. Then we're going to add a go to step. Again, if this is over your head, don't worry about it. This is for the geeks in the room or on the replay. And then you're going to add a bypass. So what's happening here, if they come in from the drag method, remember I dragged the card, they're going to go into the right branch and they're going to wait 20 days and then get the email. If they get the tag, remember I'm sending 20 or 30 all at once because I just want to try this campaign out and blast my active clients who I know I haven't sold. If I add the tag, it's going to go to the left branch and there's no wait step. So that's my little detour to Geekland. But again, none of that's super necessary. You could use the campaign as is. And I believe the new campaigns might already have this. So I'll save that there. But what we really want to do in this session, we're going to go into the email itself. So email 1, you can see here, introducing Indexed Universal Life. And we're just going to rename the actions. I like to keep clean records. I like to name my actions. You can see by wait 4 days, I know exactly what that action is doing. Sometimes if you name them, it's going to be a little bit easier. So we're going to save that. What I like to do, let's start in here. So we're going to click edit on the email. Hey, Joe, hope you're enjoying the benefits of your new Medicare plan. So Derek just sold the Medicare policy. As we approach the 45-day mark, probably change this if you're changing 20-day mark, or maybe you just want to remove that. I wanted to share some valuable information about Indexed Universal Life Insurance. IULs are a great way to protect your retirement assets. So if you did IULs, great. Don't need to do anything. But for some of you, it's like, hey, let's actually make a change to this. And what we can do here, my preference, I'm using ChatGPT all day, every day. Some of you, you can just type. You're really good with copy. You can type in some good stuff. but I'm going to use ChatGPT here to rewrite this email for indemnity insurance. So what I'm going to do here in ChatGPT, you can get a free account, super easy to sign up. I'm going to say another hot tip here I like to show off. You can set a shortcut on your keyboard and you can activate text to speech. So check this out here. I am an insurance agent and I have just cross-sold. I want to cross-sell after a Medicare policy is sold. My next plan that I want to offer is indemnity insurance. And I have a template, but I need to rewrite it for this product. So that's my prompt. And then I just paste the full email. I'm just going to clean this up. So it's thinking, I've got the upgraded model, so it actually does even better, but it takes a little bit longer. All right, now let's see here, Derek. I'd love your feedback on this. How is this copy for you here? Indemnity insurance prized with cash benefits. So basic explanation, covered medical events paid directly to you. These funds can help offset out-of-pocket costs like hospital stays, outpatient treatments. If you'd like to learn more about how indemnity insurance can complement your existing coverage and help safeguard your finances, feel free to reach out. I'm here to help you stay well prepared for whatever future may hold.
Only would have taken me an hour to put together.
Exactly. Yep. So all I'm going to do, I mean, this sounds great. I like it. I like the tone, but some of you guys are like, that doesn't sound like me. So maybe, I'm a little bit more old-fashioned. I use archaic language and I have very dry sense of humor. Can you update my tone of voice for me? So if you want to change it a little bit, if you want to make it shorter or longer, if you want to make it more friendly or more professional, what I'm doing is giving it prompts and it's going to adjust it. I trust you have been partaking in the many boons of your new Medicare plan as we draw nigh to the 20th day, an occasion near heralded by ministers nor dreaded by the faint of heart. I should like to regale you with some knowledge for an offering that may prove most advantageous, indemnity insurance. So I always like to do something a little silly to complement this, but let's just take the actual one. You get the point. You can change the tone. So let's go here. I'm seeing a question. Can you make a fixed benefit health bundle? We do have a wish list. I can send you a link to that. We're doing like a voting system. I think the next ones that are coming out are infinite banking and group benefits, and then mortgage protection will be the bundles we're doing next. But definitely we've got a whole wish list growing. So that's for Robert there. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going back to the workflow and I'm just going to paste it. Now, let's see here. The other thing we might want to add is a calendar link. This might be different in the future, but right now, your emails that are provided in the cross-sell campaigns, they do not have a calendar link included. So what we can do here is go and find button as a, top left here, add elements button. So let's just drag that right below. And we're going to add button link. We're going to say book appointment, whatever your call to action might be. I believe someone's asking about brochures. Yes, there is a way in another view. I'll actually go there too, where you can add attachments or brochures is what Robert's asking here. What we've done in some cases, if you have a brochure that's hosted online, maybe you actually just add an extra button. Let's do this here. Review brochure. And if it's a PDF hosted online, you could actually just include the link right here, and they can click on the link to go to your brochure. And one thing here, I'll do background color. With the customizer, if you guys are using the customizer, it draws from what's called custom values. That allows you, these are custom values here. It allows you to update the colors in one place and have them all updated elsewhere. And what we actually do, which I'm trying to think of ways, you can see here color main. Instead of a color code, I put a custom value in as the color. Again, I'm veering into geek territory here, but what I can do is color CTA. If you care to make it all aligned, some of you are like, whatever. So there's the orange. In this example, Anchor Financial Group, we're fiddling around with an example. I used the CTA color and it automatically pulled in my beautiful orange that I have in the customizer. And this all corresponds with the websites, everything aligns. But in this case for, Robert was asking, brochures, I could click on this as a client or a lead and see the brochure, and then I could click on the next one and go to my calendar link. So let's go back to edit here. Now you can just change the color. You can just change the color here too if you want, just to kind of shortcut it. That's an ugly brown there. But the next thing we want to make sure, we added a button for the brochure. We want to add a button now for the calendar. If you guys have a generic calendar, or if you have an indemnity calendar that you have set up, or maybe you just want to push it back to the Medicare calendar to kind of just make use of that, what we're going to do is paste the calendar link into the URL. So bigger, smaller if you want to draw more attention to that button. But we also have, if you go to the little tag here and you type in business, if you use business calendar, or if you use Medicare, so your Medicare calendar, that will pre-grab what's in the customizer. There's a business section, you can punch your bonus calendars in there. All right, so let's save this here. One more thing I want to do is just rename it, cross-sell to an indemnity. Just kind of rename and clean up. Okay. There's the email. And what we're going to do as well is we're going to go back to ChatGPT, and I'm just going to say, give me a subject line. Just thinking, I turn down the model so it takes less time. Boone is still using, pray heed, a boon of indemnity insurance awaits thee. We'll just use that for fun. Okay, we're going to go back and we're going to paste that here in the subject line. Boom. Pray heed. Okay, and you can leave from name and from email blank, or you can punch in your own. It will pre-draw from your standard one, but if you just want to be safe, you can punch in, from Will Winter, punch in your email. And then the last thing I would suggest here is actually do a test to yourself. You want to see, what does it actually feel like in my inbox? And if I click the links in my inbox, is it going to work well? Like, I can see the preview mode here. I can click on brochure and it's going to open the link. It's not a proper link that I threw in there, but you want to actually test it first, just so that you can, again, set it and then forget it. Maybe last thing I want to do is just throw a picture in here, drag a little photo element, upload from media library. Let's let's just throw the photo of me and Alex in there. So maybe you want to throw a photo of you like waving, just kind of, again, building that touch point, like that relational, like, hey, I'm here, I'm your guy, here's my face, let's build a bond so you keep coming back to me as your guy. That's another little option you can do here. But the length of this email, that's probably good. I wouldn't do it any longer than that. Always remember to save. X out, and then you can see here in the cross-sell email 1, it's going to be a 4-day wait, and then another email, 3 days, and then another email. So this is 3 emails, and it's kind of more of a quick-paced sequence here. So we're just going to do the same process. We can grab the email. We can just literally grab this, copy it, and then we're going to go back to ChatGPT. I've got several cross-sell emails. Can you do the same thing with this template, changing it to indemnity? I like to use text to speech because it allows me to just blab on. Sometimes it takes forever to type what I want, and sometimes I don't even know how to clearly type it, but I know how to blab on. And some of my blabbings are like multi-paragraph, but when I get the GPT response, it gives me exactly what I want. So you're going to have to potentially do a little bit of digging on Google, like PC. What is the shortcut to activate text to speech? Or Mac, how do I activate text to speech on Mac? I've actually changed my button so I can double tap command, but let's see here. Just following up on my previous, so that's the template, and let's see here. Okay, here's the response. I write again. It's still giving me my old-timey, remove the old-timey files. Let's just go back to professional mode here. Following up on my previous message to share a bit more about indemnity insurance, an excellent way to add a layer of protection for your current Medicare plan. Great. So it's still recognizing that Medicare is the previous product. Flexibility, peace of mind. One little asterisk about GPT, it is getting so much better, especially the latest model, which does analyze its own work more. You can see mine actually says like analyzing and doing these things. But it might still make things up. There's something called hallucination or something like that, where the AI is actually inventing things out of thin air. And you guys are insurance agents, so you'll know if it's accurate. You'll just have to read and say like, no, that is the product. That is exactly what I should be saying. But just double check its work just in case. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it in. Here's some key benefits. Awesome. Same thing with the button again. If you guys want to point to a specific button, schedule a call, and then paste the link for the calendar. Save, and always make sure, just rename things too. We want to keep clean records. Cross-sell to indemnity, email 2. Save. And then we're going to X out, and then also just changing the subject line. So doing the same thing. Give me the subject line. Some of you, this is going to be so helpful because every thought, every decision that you need to make in your day, it actually drains your ability to make decisions. It's like there's a bank of decision-making capacity in your brain. And even just thinking, what does the subject line need to be? I'm not going to waste my mental capacity coming up with that when I have shortcuts. I want to work smart, not hard, because there's other big decisions. For me as the operations manager, I've got some big decisions to make. And I don't want to drain my battery by wasting time. As Derek said, that would have taken an hour maybe to come up with. And boom, 5 minutes or less. So I've got the subject line. And you can see another way here for Robert, another way you can actually attach a file if you want to attach the PDF rather than linking it in a button, you could just add attachments and then, find a PDF that you're looking for or a file. So let's see here. Boom. That's a acupressure for labor document. Not at all relevant, but I'll just attach it anyways. Wait 3 days and then email. So you're just going to rinse and repeat for each one. You're going to go through, make sure it sounds like you, make sure if you need to change the wait steps. And then one more thing we can actually do is send a text message to go along with it. So let's go back to that first email. And we're going to copy Command A, Command C. And we're going to paste in, and we're going to say here, I'm sending a text to go along with an email that does the cross-selling. Here's the email. Can you give me a text that pairs well with it? And then I paste the actual email. Hi, contact name, just a quick note. Do you know about indemnity insurance? It's a great way to add extra financial protection. Blah, blah, blah. Interested, let me know. I don't mind that. For me, I'm like a really relational guy. So I want to make it a little more relational. Make it a little more relational, please. Again, I'm just telling it exactly what I want. Hey, contact name, I was just thinking about ways to make sure you're fully covered with your new Medicare plan. Have you heard about indemnity? Give me 3 more options. You got to know what you want kind of, and then teach it what you want. Hope you're settling well on your Medicare. Want to share something that might be helpful. I don't mind that one. I got some options here. You read them, you're like, you know what? Forget it. That's good enough. Sometimes good enough is good enough. All right. SMS. So we're going to click the little plus. We're going to send SMS. We're going to paste. And then we're just going to throw our name in there. Happy to chat if you're interested. I like that. It's like super low pressure. Like, yo, like I'm here. Just so you know, I'm your guy. And they're like, oh, You might say as well, happy to chat if you're interested. I also sent you an email. Boom. That's it. I like to send a text with an email because that allows me to hopefully increase my open rate. Say, hey, I just sent you an email. I also just sent you an email with info. Will. Maybe I include a picture of myself again. I don't want to blast people too much with text messages. I want to respect, and I think that we're, even as a business, we're trying to be more intelligent with how much or what types of messages we send our users. So just be mindful of that. You want to build connection. You want to build trust. You want to remind them, hey, I'm here. I'm your guy. I can help. Because part of this is just keeping yourself on their radar, but also presenting other options. Like, here's what I can do. Another way you might be able to do this is maybe your cross-sell campaign is not it's not Medicare to indemnity, it's Medicare to anything. It's like, hey, let's do one more variation, then we'll move on here. You could just say like, yo, here are the 5 different types of insurance products. Boom, here are all of them. Want to help with any of them? Let's just go back again to ChatGPT, and we're going to say, I'm doing a cross-sell campaign. I've just sold Medicare, but I also have 5 different insurance products that I can help with. IULs, annuities, indemnity, pet insurance, and mortgage insurance. Can you write a simple campaign that simply introduces the other services that I offer? Here's a template. I like to give templates. I copy and paste so that it kind of tells the bot, like, keep it in these parameters. Hope you're enjoying the benefits of your new Medicare plan. As we approach 20-day mark, I want to take a moment to share the other services I offer to help you stay protected and prepared for the future. Boom. Indemnity, annuities, pet insurance ensures that your furry family members are covered for unexpected vet expenses. If any of these sound like they could benefit you, I'd be happy to provide more details. So that's another use case of the automated cross-sell campaigns, where instead of really tailoring it in primary to secondary, we just primary to anything. And then you're just going to give a general calendar link. Hey, like, let's just connect. Here's my general calendar. Pop on and we'll evaluate the options that are available to you. Especially people in P&C are used to this. Like, you get them on a call for home or auto, and then you just see what else they're able to bundle. But this is another way you could do that. This video, yes, it will be recorded. It is being recorded, and it will be on YouTube. Sometimes I have this little mini panic attack. Is it actually recording? I hope I press record. Now we're good. Email deliverability. Okay, so that's a great question, Ray. Setting up the emails is one thing. Getting responses is another. There's a few different tips. This is honestly a whole subject on its own. There are people who full-time, their job is to do email delivery optimization. Like, it is a science. I'm going to talk just briefly about some of the tips, but even things like when you first get Agent CRM account, let's start there. When you first get an Agent CRM account, in order to speed up your access to the system, we add your account to what's called a group sending domain. Now, potentially, what it's going to look like is, let's see if I can even find an example. Many of you, as soon as I point it out, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Here. I just got one this morning that we were testing, so. Okay, so you can see here, this one from a friend of ours, Thomas, sent via. This is what's called a sending domain. It's, and you can see here, sent from this guy via this. This is called a group sending domain. The benefit of this is that we can send your emails a lot quicker without any extra setup needed. The downside is that this is a group sending domain. There's other people floating around in the world that are also using this. And if they spam people, then the domain is going to get a bad reputation. And unfortunately, because you're in the same pool of people, everyone else in that pool, their deliverability is going to go down. One of the ways that we want to make sure, this is like definitely first steps for many people, is actually just going into your system under settings. And I don't think this was actually set up in this account. But here we go. If you go into settings, email services, it's going to be a pop-up here, boost your email deliverability, reduce spam flagging, blah, 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 create a dedicated domain. We do have training elsewhere on how to go through that, but some of you, that is your homework because you're experiencing the same thing as Ray, where it's like, people are telling me it's ending up in spam. Like, that's frustrating. This is definitely going to be helpful, but there are other things to know, like warming up your email domain, sending it to people, like sending it to a few people at first that you know will respond, and it will develop a positive reputation for your email sending domain. Again, this gets into like really deep tech territory. But some of you, like, actually, you could go to ChatGPT and say, I have horrible email deliverability. Can you give me a plan for how to increase it? And ChatGPT is going to actually give you a full list of how-tos. A lot of things I learn, like coding. I'm learning coding with ChatGPT's help. So Yeah, and you can ask it more questions. You can also work with our team to do some of this stuff as well. But I will say sending a text is probably going to increase your read rate, because I'll tell you how many, right now I have 1,300 unread emails in my inbox. Now, I do read the ones that are important, but I am subscribed to way too many things and I don't delete quick enough. In today's age, it depends on the age that you're targeting for your audience. If it's an older generation, maybe their inbox is a little bit more of their primary place. I don't know. But for me, I know that if you send me a text, I will read it. And if you can partner an email with a text, you're going to get a slightly higher engagement rate, because text is one of the best methods for engagement. Now, it does cost like 2 cents per text roughly. But if you can close an additional policy that you wouldn't have, 2 cents here or there starts to be negligible. It's not that big a deal as long as you're getting results that you would not have gotten. Remember all these things like cross-sell campaigns, renewal reminder campaigns we'll do in another video. But all of these things should be increasing. Even if you just sold one extra policy, the commission would have paid for more than several months worth of texting or calling. So part of it is just keep that in perspective. As you do incur some costs, you're also getting results ideally that you would not have otherwise. Let's see some contents. What? So why will we send text only, not emails? I would do both. You don't know what their primary preferred method is. It might be text, it might be email, it might even be voicemail or calling. So we want to kind of cover our bases with a few different broadcasts, so that hopefully wherever they're paying attention, that's going to drum up some interest or engagement. Pointing to your calendar as much as possible would be the goal. Definitely throw some more questions. Loving the engagement. These are really good points as well. Yes, that's a good question. I will expand on voice mail drops. Let's add that. Let's just upgrade our cross-sell campaign that much further. We're going to make this super cross-sell campaign here. It'll be the best cross-sell campaign that ever existed. So I've shown you a few enhancements already. I've shown you the super nerdy if else with the go to, move it around kind of thing. But maybe you also want to do, let's see here. Come on. Cross sell. Let's say here we want to do a voicemail drop. And I only want to do it once. I don't want to harass people. I'm going to send, I forgot to save the workflow. Always click save. You can see my text didn't get saved. So always save the action on the bottom right and then on the top right as well. But let's just assume there's a text there as well. Let us record a voicemail. So we're going to go to onlinevoicerecorder.com and I'll paste that into the chat box. And we're going to do something. So remembering we just sold Medicare. Now we're going to sell indemnity. And I want a voicemail script. Let's see here. Give me of. Now, some of you, I'm being partly lazy in this moment because honestly, I don't sell indemnity insurance, so I don't know the best way to pitch it. So I'm just going to get ChatGPT to give me a simple script. But just give me half a second here. Okay. So I'm going to hit record and I'm going to do a test. I'll say something like, so let me bring it over here so I can have two screens. All right. Allow. Hey, this is Will Winter, just trying to get a hold of you. I was looking over your case, and I know that we just covered Medicare. There's actually some other things that might be beneficial to you. I know that you're looking for Medicare, but some things might actually not be covered. I'm sorry I didn't get a hold of you, but if you want to talk and see some other options to enhance your coverage, give me a shout. I've just sent you an email as well. So take a look from that. Again, this is Will Winter, just reaching out. Thank you again for your business, and I'm here to help in any way you need. Bye for now. So I can trim that up, save. It's going to say processing, and it's going to download an MP3 file. It looks like it already did that. So we go back to the workflow. We go to the plus here, and we go voicemail. Voicemail, upload file, and that's it, 34 seconds. Perfect, I can play it here. I'm just gonna save it because I know it works. Let's just say voicemail or I like to save that for records just so I know exactly what it is. And then top right, save. Now this one's on draft, so I actually have to publish it for it to function. So we'll publish it as well. But now I've got a message that's also included. And I hope that you guys kind of saw what I did when I recorded my tone of voice. I want to make it feel like I actually left you a voicemail. Like I want you to feel like I just missed you on the phone. So I say things like, hey, I'm sorry I missed you. I was just reaching out because, and hey, hope you're having a great day. Bye for now. Like little stutters or stammers or little pauses, things that feel a little. I want to make it feel too markety. I could say something like, hey, this is Will Winter reaching out from Will Winter Insurance. And there are, I've got the perfect polished script, but it feels artificial. It feels like you're shoving a sail down my throat. What I want is just kind of like a, hey, like I'm here, I'm your guy, just trying to reach out, sent you some info, I got your back. That kind of a vibe is what I'm personally going for in how I would sell if I was an insurance agent. So we've got the email. Maybe we send a text as well. Let's just say I'm going to move the email, move action, cancel, move action. I want to move the email after the voicemail. Let's actually reconnect this. Disconnect. Okay. So I want to send the voicemail. Then I want to wait. I want it to feel really authentic. I want to wait 1 minute, maybe. And then I want to send the email, and then I want to wait. Maybe wait a minute. You can figure this out based on what you feel you want to do. Wait 1 minute and then send an SMS. How would you actually send this if you manually sent it? Would it be like a minute later because you're manually typing? Or you're leaving the voicemail and, hey, I'm going to send you an email in a minute or two. That would be, you do that, save, boom. So whether they get your cross-sell or not, hopefully this is going to increase your cross-sell rate, but part of it as well, we're kind of touching on a retention conversation as well, because these are additional touch points that keep you front and center in their mind so that when they have needs, it might not be now. It might not be 20 days later like this one is, but it might be 3 months from now, 4 months from now. And those little positive interactions, maybe you include a photo of your family in some of these emails, especially holiday campaigns. You're just kind of painting a picture in the mind of your client that I'm your friend, I'm your guy, keep me in mind, I'm here for you. The tone of voice, again, that's another way that we can enhance the sense of connection that our clients and our contacts feel to us. Great question there. I'm glad that you prompted that. So yeah, online voice recorder, we use that tool because it's web-based, it's not ours, nothing to do with us, but it downloads in the format that the system needs, which is MP3. If you have an iPhone, it doesn't record in MP3, the voice recorder by default. So I just like this. personally. All right. Let's do one last thing for cross sells, and then I will definitely take more time for questions. We're doing great here for timing. I've been in the workflows the whole time, making adjustments. One thing you should know is that the emails themselves, those beautiful template emails, they actually live in marketing email templates. And I can see here, let's do cross-sell, Medicare cross-sell folder. Perfect. Let's check that out. So you can also edit in this view. And there's one additional thing here, settings. The email subject in the workflow, some of you, it doesn't really matter. Just do it in the workflow, you'll be fine. But if you edit in here, your subject in here will be overwritten by the workflow, but maybe for long term, just to keep things clean, you actually want to put the indemnity subject line here too. And if there's a preview text, let's just copy the preview text here. Settings, let's punch that in, save. So that just keeps things clean all around, because what we're doing is we're rewriting the assets we originally provided. And then last thing, settings. We're going to go settings, tags. And we're going to search the tag cross-sell. Remember, back to the beginning of this conversation, I showed you drag them or tag them. Now, we want to keep our records clean, so it's no longer cross-sell to IUL. We can actually go settings, tags, and then edit cross-sell to indemnity. That way, every asset is now updated. I'm not going to be confused in the future. I know that if I want to use this campaign, I can use the correct tag and I've named it properly. All right. Thanks, Gray. Ray says, doing a great job. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. All right. I've got some time here. We got about 7 minutes still as we're landing the plane very gracefully today. Some days it's more of a crash landing at the end, but I'd love to hear some questions. We can stay on topic, or we can take a little bit of a detour if you have other questions or curiosities. Looking in the chat, also feel free to take yourself off mute. Needed. One more thing, maybe if you guys are typing furiously and punching in a longer question, or if you're coming up with a question, I do want to point to our end of year survey. Let's go here, agent-crm.com/survey. We want to build a better CRM. We've got some major strides we've taken this year, but we are not insurance agents, and we are very tech people. And sometimes we make the wrong assumptions about the product or the service or the training. And we definitely want each of you guys, those live and those on replay, to help inform 2025 and beyond. What are we able to do to serve you at a better level in technology, support, and education? Those are our 3 pillars. Technology, that's the tools themselves. Support, how do we help you and troubleshoot? And then education, things like this call. We want to make sure we're giving you exactly what you need. So I'll punch that link into the chat. It will be in the description of this video as well. But that is super helpful for us. 5 minutes, maybe 10 if you want to be really thoughtful. I'd appreciate it. But getting some great feedback already that I'm excited to dive into. Things like branding bundles, what's missing, what do you want to add? We take all that feedback as well. And we're excited to help you guys thrive in the year ahead. My dream and my goal for our users is that you would be proportionally more successful than an agent who is not using our system. So That is the goal. Ray has an off subject. Love it. Wave versus Kixie. Yep. I'm going to wrap the recording up and then we'll get into that here. So thank you guys for joining. If you want to stick around for that, let's dive into that as well.